Hi guys, welcome to the AlwayzGamesTV Show. I am Roger Knowles, and well, welcome back in a sense. We've been doing the podcast for a little while now, and then we decided to take a bit of a hiatus, and that was before E3, and so it's now come to it that we've tried to evolve into next form. And so yeah, so now we're doing it as a vidcast. We're still doing it as an audio podcast. So if you're listening on iTunes, keep listening. And then once you finish listening, head over to YouTube and watch the video one and like it and share it. That'd be amazing. And then also leave a review just before you leave iTunes. That'd be fantastic as well. I've been joined by Mark Stevenson again. You might know him from the podcast. We were hopefully going to have a couple of other people with as well, but due to time constraints and me pushing to want to get this like sort of on with that, fortunately a lot of people are busy. So, and it is bank holiday as well, so everybody's going to see family and everything like that. Whereas mine have gone on holiday. Mine have left. It's great. It's so quiet. I can do recordings left, right, and centre. So how are you, Mark? Anyway.
Yeah, I'm all good. I mean, my family's still here, but you know, priorities. It's all about the games first, and then sort out
later. I'm just like, do you want to come to Portugal, Mark? Nope. Got Always Games TV. Roger, where are you? I'm in Spain.
Okay, so you've taken it, you've gone.
I'd be on a beach. I still have everything. I still do all the recording. It'd just be like you just see like a girl walk past in the bikini, and just be like you just see me just sort of wander off. Still talking.
Oh yeah.
Well, thank you very much for joining me, though. It's absolutely really appreciated. So, what have you been up to since we last spoke on the podcast? Because it was before E3.
Yeah, it was. It's quite a bit ago now. Since then, just been cracking through the backlog. Really picked up Max Payne 3, finished that on the PC. Mm-hmm. That was good. Enjoyed that one. Big download though. That was 30 gig storage on that. So it was, I think, just literally because it's not a very long game. I think it was all about the audio files and the textures, because a lot of it was very detailed. So massive game, but good. I recommend it.
How have you been finding it? Because you do struggle with your internet a smidge. So how did you find the download?
It did take a while. Like normally, if I had something big, I'd leave it going overnight. But I think this was estimated in days it was going to take full. So I set it going and just did a few hours here and there. I think we set it going like pretty much a month ahead of when I wanted to actually play it, just chipping away at it. Absolutely.
If they could like, send us a pre-release copy, that'd be amazing. Not something we could actually play it before release, just so we could play it on release.
Oh no! I mean, what I'm doing now with Metal Gear Revengeance, that's 23 gigs, so I'm just halfway there now, just waiting for the rest of the down.
That's the hardest bit of the game is to actually get it downloaded. No, I got to admit, I used to have a load of problems with my download, and I've just gone up to fiber optic, and I think I was downloading Wolfenstein at the time. It had just been released, and the New Order, and I think it was like saying like 17 hours download, 20-hour download, and then got literally like overnight, we got the fiber optic installed and everything like that, all the paperwork side and everything like that, and it went from like say 17 to 18 hours down to it was like an hour. And I was just like, oh my god! And like uploading videos to YouTube is like so much easier now. I uploaded one the other day, which was like 40 minutes long or something like that. You'll see it released hopefully in the next few days, and that would have originally taken me like 6 hours to upload, and now it's like 20 minutes. It's like, and especially when I do like the news updates and we do the 5-minute videos, they upload that fast that I have to attach the thumbnails as quickly as possible, because if you don't attach the thumbnails on, it doesn't always drag them to Twitter straight away if you share them. So I'm like trying to look for all my files as quickly as possible to find where I saved the thumbnail, because it's going that quick that I've got seconds to get it uploaded. So that's like a race to try and get everything done. But yeah, try and get fiber optic if you can. It is a lifesaver, especially with Steam and downloading games.
Well, this is it, because you know that I'm big on my PC gaming and stuff, and it's an absolute nightmare. I mean, recently I've been playing Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate on the Wii U, but I got a digital copy of that, and that were again same case. We left it going overnight. I think it was about, I don't know, maybe about midday on one day we left it, and the following day I got up first thing about 9 o'clock, something like that, and it wasn't ready yet. There was another hour to go, and I thought, it's literally 24 hours just for a game. So,
well, in truth, you gotta you look at it like this: like they're trying to push with digital sales a lot more, such as obviously Steam always has been digital sales, obviously. But then you look at like PlayStation going that way, Xbox are going that way, and they're trying to push for the digital sales. And if like in England, there's a lot, especially up in here in Yorkshire, there's certain areas where you just literally can't get internet still. They're like, I think it's like, I used to have, until I got all the wiring in my house changed, 250 kilobyte download. And
that's lightning speed to me.
It's terrible. It's absolutely shocking. And it's like in certain places in the country though, and like on the, like, just in the country, is literally nothing. And like, if you buy, for example, I bought Ground Zeroes on PlayStation 4 when it was on sale, and that is a hell of a download. And I still had to wait a good like half an hour, 45 minutes to get it downloaded, and that was on fiber optic. So you got to admit, I do feel sorry for you. Hopefully, Skype call will keep going though.
Yeah, fingers crossed. I'll put some more coal in the engine, keep it running.
Right, crank it up. Sammy's going to be in the background, just like shoveling coal in for you and shit. She's keep going, right, just keep going. Pedaling on a bike, it's like keep going. Go ahead. We're losing audio.
But I mean, you hit a good point because everything is going like digital for the good sales and stuff. I mean, they've got to the point now where they're comparable to buying it from a shop, because that's the problem. Like, I mean, digital sales before, they'd be, the RRP is like 60 quid, but then Amazon will be saying, but we'll sell you it for 40. And you'll go, I might go to Amazon then. I'll wait a day for delivery or whatever. But they've started doing better deals and things now. But what I do like is, I mean, you've got your PlayStation Network, your Plus accounts on there, so you get your free games per month. Download them. You know, you got to wait for those to get through. So if you want Dragon's Dogma Arisen or anything like that, wait for that to download because you've earned it or anything like that. By the time I've downloaded it, the next game I can get's already out. But I mean, Xbox do the same. They've got Games for Gold, I think it's called. Mm-hmm. And they get their free games as well and stuff. And I mean, they're pushing that people want to get these extra services to go online and stuff. But then to get the benefit of those services, you've got to have good internet. I mean, you know, I'm avid, big keen player of Street Fighter and stuff, but I struggle to go online with it. I mean, I get a few matches here and there, but it's just the internet connection really does suffer for it.
Yeah, it really is. It's one of those sort of issues where I think that basically, like, I know, is it in America or some places in Europe where they actually have a cap? So if you go over that, like, you have to start paying more. And now you look at the size of some of these games, and like Titanfall was 52 gig. Yeah, 35 gig of it was audio. it's like, well, I couldn't believe it when you downloaded, and I was like, God, I'm glad I don't have a cap, otherwise my bill's going to go through the freaking roof. Like, I just couldn't believe it. And that was just audio, though, 30 gig. It was stupid. It was, but obviously in Europe, obviously we've got all the different languages, so we have to download that. In America, that's not too bad because we've pretty much got one language. But yeah, it's just, I got to admit, it's certainly something over here in England that they've got to start sorting out. And they are pushing with fibre optic. Yeah. But it's not everywhere.
Well, no, I can't get it. Every time I ring them, they just go, oh, no, not for you, sir.
Coming soon near you. Oh, dear. But, right, so what have you been playing at the moment?
So I did Max Payne 3. I touched on then that I've just started playing Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate on the Wii U. That's really, really good. I mean, I don't think you'll have played any of the Monster Hunter games before, unless you played them on PS2.
I have been tempted to when I had a PSP back in the day. I've got PSP to play Peace Walker, and that was about
it. Well, yeah, that was the sad thing with PSP. I mean, there's some good ones on there, but it's very similar to the Vita now. Like, I love my Vita and I love my PSP back in the day, but it's like more times than not, there's only really a handful of games you really need the system for. So it's not very justified unless you're going to play all the PS1 games on it again and just keep moving them forward every time. But yeah, I've just been playing Monster at the moment. And that's really good. I mean, that's a big time sink though, because I think I'm only 7 hours in so far, and I think I'm like rank 2 Hunter online and about rank 7 offline. But basically, if I ever go to an online lobby to like do some hunts with random people and do the quests and whatnot, they all come in with all this amazing looking gear, like all these bone armor and massive hammers, and I'm just there with a bit of like chainmail and leather. And I'm like, yeah, you do the work. I'll hang around so I can carve it at the end and try and get some gear.
You've just described how I play MMOs. Like, don't worry, I'll just stay here. You know, don't worry. Ooh, an epic drop, lovely. Yeah. I'll roll.
Need.
Yeah. So we're like, which one to read? Wait a minute, Roger. You just hit greed? No, not in the slightest.
It's like, look, that's a stat. Don't you play an archer? I can use it. Don't worry.
I can sell it on the GTN. Like. But now I was talking GTN. I'm talking SWOTOR now. Jesus.
I knew your favorite.
I am tempted to go back. I am literally. I've got it re-downloaded.
Really, that's the first sign. Is that intervention's coming up soon?
Yeah, it's like I was gonna have to be in my group. I'm like, yeah. I played a Jedi, and I can't let go.
My name's Roger, and I'm an addict.
I'm an addict. I'm an MMO addict. But yeah, no, I got to admit that's certainly one game I've got back installed. And again, when I got fiber optic, I was like, oh, I've got hard drive space. I don't have to wait 3 weeks for it to download. I can pretty much start it now, and I'm playing an hour. But I just haven't got around to jumping back on. I've been pretty much. I got Diablo 3, the Ultimate Evil Edition, on PS4 just the other day. Freaking loving it. Addicted to that. It's literally there's a few issues with it though. I got to admit I was a bit shocked. Like they've removed certain aspects because obviously I never played it on PC. I went from PS3 and jumped straight to PS4 version of it. And obviously since then they've done a lot of updates and a lot of changes and just implemented a lot more features. And they removed stuff as well. So when I stepped into it, they've removed all the master levels now. So where before you choose your difficulty level, you would choose what quest you're on, and then you would choose if you wanted a master level, you could have it master level 1, 2, and 3, which increased the difficulty within that difficulty and create more enemies, sort of thing. Well, they removed that. And I literally jumped straight in and got told by one of my friends, literally just go and play expert straight away on the new rolled character. And I did. And I haven't died yet, and I'm level 42.
Yeah, it's the exact same piece of advice I got because it's the fastest way to level up, and it's not that difficult really. I mean, the weirdest thing is just those enemies have those extra effects, don't they? Like I don't know, like magma or something like that, or acid spewing or whatever it is.
But if you play the game how it should be played, you can quite easily just avoid those. And I'm just a bit shocked. I mean, I find actually I'm a little disappointed because I liked it when you went on to. You got 3 or 4 of you. We've done it when we've had our gaming nights, and we've gone. It's too easy. It's too easy. Let's crank it up another master level. Let's crank it up, and then when you've hit your level because you're just like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm dying now. It's like, but you want to die because you want that level of difficulty. Yeah, I'm finding that I'm leveling up fast because I've got it on expert, so I've got it on like 3 times the amount of XP gained. Just finding expert reasonable in difficulty. It's not like overly like rock solid. And I'm actually leveling up so fast that I had a level 25 shield or something, and I was level 36. And because I actually had leveled up that fast and not got that far into the game, that I'd actually out-leveled it by like 10 or 11 levels, and still I hadn't picked up anything better at that point. It was just like, I just couldn't believe it. I was just like, oh, okay, I've just got into Act 2, and I'm level 42 or 43 or something like that. And exactly. And I'm just like, oh, so yeah, you're a boss, are you? Like, that's nice. Like, you just spam your powers and hit him a couple of times. And I don't think I even, like, when I faced oh God, I'm terrible with names when it comes to the butterfly lady. Forgot her name.
Or something like that, I think.
Something like that, yeah. I didn't use a health potion. At all. I was just like, oh, okay, well, I'm playing as Crusader because I wanted to try out that class, and they've got like a healing area in it, and literally just use that, spam a load of like other powers, and I'm just like, I'm fine, I'm absolutely fine. So I'm a bit disappointed by that, but I'm enjoying it. I'm just want to now almost complete it so that I can unlock the other difficulties and move like forward with that. But yeah, that's going really, really fast. What else have I been playing? Oh, yeah, I've been playing Ground Zeroes again. Got it on the PlayStation Store summer sale thingy. Been playing, obviously, we've got a new show starting called The Retro Rewind, and now I've been playing some of those to get used to some of the old games that have aged really badly. So, but then I went back to Super Mario Land on the SNES, and that hasn't aged. It is amazing. I had a whale of a time playing that, and I got to admit, it sort of made me realize with those sort of stylized games that they don't age. They pretty much stay the same, and I guess it is that sort of style and how it looks that it's never really aged.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, sprites always look lovely. I mean, because even nowadays, all the indie games, they go to that kind of look, don't they? Because they've realized that you can make something look brilliant with a nice bit of pixel work on that. I mean, like Fez is a good example. That looks brilliant because it's made to look like pixels, even though it's actually polygons, like it's fully 3D for the rotation effect and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, that's the golden ages, things like SNES and Mega Drive, anything like that. It's once you go forward to the PS1 and anything like, or even before that, the Sega Saturn, those age so badly now. Those textures and just the models, it's hard to go back there.
We just did actually recording an episode, Siphon Filter on the PlayStation 1. Oh my god, how I used to be so good at that game. I used to be like headshot bang, like Gabriel Logan. I'm like, I'm the freaking man. And I'm like, and then watch the cinematic for it, and like it's a blockhead. It looks like Minecraft. And like the mouse going, hammer. And I was just like, oh, wow. And then my eyes hurt because it was in standard definition. Yeah. And it was the most, it's amazing actually. I'm really enjoying doing the series, and we're going to start getting those videos up probably next week, along with a new show which is going to be started as well, which is Indie Forever, which we're going to start looking at some indie games, and literally sort of, especially with like PlayStation seems to be going down indie mad at the moment. We're releasing all the games, so I thought about those, and we're going to start doing those as well. Pretty much in a similar format, and just introducing you to them, and me probably dying a lot in them as well, because I seem to do that a lot. Especially when I'm recording. I'm amazing. As soon as I hit record, my quality of gaming just plummets to the floor. It's just, I think I'm just like, I must be good. I must play really well. And, no. Mario will show that once you show that video out.
Oh, Mario is quite tricky, though, to be fair. That's a skill where if you've either... You've practiced again, you're used to it, or it's down the hill.
Yeah, pretty bad.
I recommend if you're doing your indie games, definitely pick up Shovel Knight by Yacht Club Games.
I've been looking at that. I think that's actually, I think it was just on offer on Humble Bundle actually. And I think I might bob over and might grab that. I was thinking about that.
It's amazing. I mean, that's the other one I've been playing recently because I backed them on Kickstarter, but I asked for a 3DS copy originally. But sadly, due to regional issues or something, the 3DS one didn't come out straight away. So when everyone got their codes for it, the code didn't work because it was like for the North America 3DS store. So luckily, though, really, really nice guys down at Yacht Club. I sent them an email and they got back to me straight away and went, would you like a PC version instead? I was like,
well, that's good.
So yeah, I've been playing that and it's so fun. I mean, are you a big fan of the Mega Man games or anything like that?
See, I never played Mega Man. I never played Mega Man. In fact, I was thinking about like back when, like in the old, like with SNES, all I played was Mario. It was like my parents never really bought me video games, so it was kind of like everything was passed down from my brothers, and we had like say Mario Kart, what was the other one? Flashback and Street Racer, I think, or something along those lines. It's a bit like Street Fighter. It has a similar artwork to Street Fighter, but it was like just people with cars and you'd punch each other. It's great.
Sounds good. Sounds like
it's very simple. But no, Shovel Knight, though, I got told me that's certainly one which I am thinking about picking up.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's really worth it because I like the way it's laid out because it is just kind of like action platformer, but the levels after even the first level, it just lets you straight away pick where you want to go next. Like, you know, from the like opening little cutscene thing, there's about 10 bosses or something, and after the first level, the first boss, it then says, cool, there's 4 more bosses now. Who do you want to go for next? Which is why it reminds me of Mega Man, because that's how those games were always laid out. You had your 8 robot masters, you'd beat them, and then you go beat like the end boss afterwards. But yeah, very similar. That kind of thing of you fall down the pit, you're dead, back to the checkpoint, and that's it.
I got to admit, it's certainly one that I'm going to pick up. I saw, like I say, I've seen some YouTube videos of it pop up. I think I saw Total Biscuit play it, and well, anything with Total Biscuit's voice is just like, you know, it makes it sound epic anyway. Even really crap games, like he'll be saying this is a terrible game, but you're just like, but I want to pick it up because of your voice. But yeah, no, I got to the other one which I was interested in, maybe going to do as well was Rogue Legacy, which I've just picked up on the PlayStation 4. Yeah, it looks similar to Shovel Knight, actually. Very similar sort of like platform, sort of dungeon crawler sort of thing.
Yeah, I think Rogue Legacy is one of those ones, I can't think what the term is now for life, made very similar to Spelunky and things like that, where it's never ending, is it? Where you just keep going through it, don't you? Like, you just get strong, get better gear.
It's just it goes on the idea of that. Obviously, it's called Rogue Legacy. The idea is that you leave a legacy. So every time you go into the castle, you play it, and then if you die, your character you've been playing at is dead. That's it, they're gone. But then you play as their child, their daughter or son, and and then you carry on. They've got all the gear. Like, you manage to get the gear back, but not their body apparently. But you get the gear and the gold that they collected, and you use that gold then to upgrade and get better gear and better stats and all that sort of thing. But what's interesting, which is what bit I like the most, is that they have their positive and negative perks. So they might be, for example, a bit like a tank. So they'll have the shield, they'll have really high armor, really high health, but they may colorblind. So the whole game goes black and white. It's just really absolutely cool. Crackers. It's absolutely crackers. And then there'll be like one where they can't see 3D objects. It's a 2D platformer, but it like does it in really. You actually, I'm not going to spoil it, but if you do play it, you'll realize why that becomes a factor, because certain things happen in the game. You're like, oh shit, yeah, they won't be able to see. It's one of those sort of things. Another like, what's the other one? If they suffer from, there's all these different conditions that people can suffer from, and there's one where it's like you're really hyperactive. I've forgotten the term for it now. And like
ADD or whatever.
Yeah, you can't stop. And he jumps and runs really, really fast. Like, really, really fast. And there's, like, overweight as well. And you can be too tall. You can be a giant. You can be too small. And it all affects your playability within the levels. So it always makes it different. And it's just so funny. It really, really is hilarious. And I think, again, that was on sale the other day on PlayStation, so I picked that up as well. And no, that's absolutely awesome of an indie game. In fact, it's that good. I wouldn't even like. I know it sounds really bad, but whenever I say indie, I always think all these games which are a little bit clunky, they don't seem to work right well. That's just my mentality. It's not true, because these games are freaking awesome. In fact, to a point where they're better than some of the AAA games that are coming out. And you know, all this money put behind them. Yet these people who have had a low budget, only 4 of them, like 4 or 5 in an office, have made this. And yet it is more entertaining and more enjoyable than some of these games that have had thousands and thousands of dollars or pounds thrown at them. And they've captured something that these big studios couldn't capture.
Well, no, I mean, that's the good thing sometimes, is that I think the only real reason we still call them indie developers is because they're not under a big developer, a big publisher or anything like that. They have free reign to make it how they want to make it. I mean, like recently I played Among the Sleep, by Krillbite Studios, and I think that's only about 10 to 20 people in Europe. And that's that horror game where you play as like a toddler. And it's literally you play the whole game. It's not really that scary, though. I mean, originally I thought it was going to be this big horror thing, but I think it's meant to be more scary because it's how the kid sees the world or something like that. So you're opening drawers and you're climbing on them to then actually open the door or something like that. But it's all from his perspective, just you and your teddy bear or whatever. But yeah, they were only 10 to 20 people. But if no one told you, it's by, you could say, Ubisoft made that. You go, okay, yeah, that's cool. I can imagine them doing that. It just goes with it. I mean, like you said, there are bits where you notice, you go, okay, like Octodad or something. You can tell maybe that's not Activision behind it or anything like that. That is literally just someone went, do you know what? I think we could do a game where you control all of an octopus's appendages and pretend he's a dad. And he'll make coffee and stuff.
Because that sounds an amazing idea, which is, again, I've got that game, still haven't played it. I'm dying to play that game. I just want like a spare few hours. I can just sit down and go, right, it's Octodad night.
Which one do you have? Is it the first one, or is it the
Deadliest Catch? I think it's Deadliest Catch. I
think that's the second kind of one. Have you got it on PS4 or PC?
I got it on PC. I think I picked it up during the Steam sale. I think again in summer. So one of many of the games that I've seen to have just picked up during the sales on Steam.
Oh, cool. 'Cause, I mean, I think on that version you can actually do it co-op as well, where you can assign on 2 controllers who gets what limbs, which is just
brilliant.
Yeah, that's really fun because then it's just try and do any of the things and it's just mental coordination.
No, I got to admit that does sound actually pretty awesome. Anyway, so we'll jump straight into the news stories. We haven't got many to go through this week, mainly because it's the first episode. We don't know how this is going to work. Not going to lie. Hopefully it goes really, really well and everything looks really, really professional, except for the reflection of my glasses, which no one can see in my eyes then.
On my head.
We are a glowing people. We just glow. We shine. Healthy glow. And plus I look really, really intelligent because I've got that many books around me. It's the only room in the house I can do this. Right, anyway, first up is Minecraft PlayStation 4 fails certification. Now, if you haven't heard of Minecraft, where have you been? And how come don't you own it? Because I think it's officially now nearly on every single platform.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Anyways, it still hasn't come to PlayStation 4 yet, and they seem to be having a few bug issues. So apparently they've sent it over to Sony to get its certification test, and Sony pretty much sent it back saying, yeah, no. Which makes me question, what sort of bugs they've come across, because it's, like I said, it's pretty much out on everything.
Well,
so,
I mean, without sounding daft, but I mean, on Minecraft itself, it's had a few patches to add things in, like that, the Nether Drake, I think it's called, and bosses and world things, stuff like that. But I can't really see what, particularly on a PS4 version, would class as a bug that they haven't seen themselves before they've sent it to Sony, that Sony have picked up on and gone, no, we don't want that, because
it must have been something pretty severe that they couldn't sort out, in a patch.
Yeah.
Because, we used to day one patches now. You buy a game, you're no longer do you just put a game in for it to start playing instantly. It doesn't work like that. You put it in and then you go, right, I'll go put a coffee on. I'm going to make coffee, get some biscuits, no. And then by the time you come back, hopefully it's downloaded. Yeah. Or in the case of you, probably you can go to the shops and come back.
Well, I've pre-ordered the game, and by the time I've got the update for it, the sequel's been announced. I've had the DLC, all the queued up. I'm just there. I'm just going, it's going to be great, is this? You guys heard of Metal Gear? They go, oh, yeah, it's really good. I go, yeah, in this one, Snake's really old.
Not by actual purpose. It was just literally, it took that long to download. I'm old with him.
The end's dead. It's all gone.
Yeah. Oh, I love that game. But yeah, so they must have had a few issues with this to be able to not get it on, because I think it was originally scheduled to come out for August, September time.
Yeah, I think it's this month. No, September. Yeah, you're right. September, I think it was going to come out, and I imagine there's probably a few people that they're quite gutted about that, really, because, like you say, everyone has it and plays it. So I imagine once you've got your account, you would want it on whatever system you're going to use.
Well, exactly. I picked it up on PC at a quite early stage before I think it was still classed to being out in the alpha, and that was years ago.
Yeah.
And I picked it up just because someone mentioned it to me, and I was like, oh, I'll give it a go. And actually, last night I bought it on PS3 because me and Rachel were around, and we were chilling, and we didn't know what to do. So we were like, well, we want to play a game, so I gave her an option between Diablo and I was like, well, Minecraft, and Minecraft won. But what I didn't realise was obviously it's split screen, which I never knew. I didn't know that until I started reading all the details to it.
All right.
So I was like, straight away, right, split screen, co-op Minecraft? Yes. Definitely, without having to, on PC, it's fantastic with multiplayer, but, and then I was trying to obviously show how to play it, the intricacies of it, and then you can see when someone clicks when they get it, you sort of explain, what's the point in the game? There is no point. You just keep going. It's well, what can I make? Anything that your mind can make up. And it's all I said to her, it's like Lego, but just, in front of you. You can play it on a game. And then it sort of started working. And then she was built a house. She was I was building a farm outside and crops. It was proper married couple. It was amazing. And she's oh, come on, you got to get your food. Your food's getting low. Exactly. So I was oh, okay. And then I went hunting for sheep. to make some beds, and she was like, "Yeah, you haven't got any pork." I was like, okay. But no, that was really, really good. And I was a bit disappointed not hear it's coming out on PS4, but apparently if you own it on PS3, it's cheaper on PS4 for you, for pre-owners of it.
Yeah,
apparently.
I think that's the same on 360 and Xbox One as well, because I think they said it's something like £5 maybe or something.
Something
just
like
to
that.
like, the version up.
Which I think is good. Very good to admit. It'd be nice to see it at full 1080p and 60 frames per second on a console. Obviously, we can pretty much get that on PCs for a while now, but that kind of leads into my next story. Actually, I'm going to skip one and move on to this one. So, Witcher 3 reports that the game may not run in 1080p on PS4 and Xbox One. Sorry, a developer of Witcher 3 reports. Now, before we get full into the story, what's your opinion on the present situation with the next-gen consoles with 1080p and 60 frames per second?
I honestly just think, well, I'm not going to get biased because you know that I don't own an Xbox One or a PS4 at the moment. I literally have just ordered this week all of my new parts to build a full new PC because I think it's worth investing in that. Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, I've gone with the card I've gone for, it's not a massive graphics card, it's a GTX 770, and that by itself goes for about, how much should I get that for now? It's about 250, but the one above it that I wanted, the 780.
780, yeah. I was just been looking at one of the 780 Ti, and I think it was like 500 and something pounds, something stupid.
It's you go from, the next cards up are always about from 350 up to 500, and then there's the Titans at about £1 or whatever, which I'm okay with.
That's in the long distance dot. Like it's over there. I'll be able to forward that in maybe about 10 years' time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, I just weighed it up because I thought, well, if I get a graphics card for basically the same cost of what console I would have bought, but it's going to give me so much more. I mean, after we heard that, you know, Metal Gear, Ground Zeroes, and Phantom Pain are coming to PC, we've got, I think it was Rome, Rise of an Empire, that Xbox One game, that's coming to PC. A lot of more next-gen, quote-unquote, current-gen console games are coming out to PC now. It just seems to me that I'd rather go PC so I can run them in 1080p and 60 frames. I mean, I'll lower resolution on something to get to run at 60 frames, but more times than not, I can find that balance between 1080p, a few settings a bit lower to get it just nicely to 60 frames, or I mean, more times than not, I don't even have to lower any settings because half of the games are a console port anyway. But yeah, it worries me that a lot of PS4 games and things, they're just not coming out with a higher resolution. I mean, Xbox One, exactly the same. It just seems like, I think they realize...
They seem to be struggling to get the... obviously, it's a new generation, so they're still learning to code for these new machines.
Yeah.
They find it easier, I presume, because they are more like PCs this time around than they were like with the PS3, where you had the cell processor. They had a hell of a time trying to code for it. But it is concerning. Like, we expect now, well, I personally expect 1080p and 60 frames per second. It's not the most important thing of a game. No. I'll admittedly say that. You know, story is the most important. Gameplay and story for me are the most important. But once you've got that, you go, well, I paid 450 quid for this machine. It's like they said this is the next gen console. Well, I think of next gen, I think of graphics. You know, I don't think of gameplay and story. If someone says next gen, I think, well, we're moving on to the next generation of video games. So we'll see better graphics, 60 frames per second, 1080p. And a lot of people who I've spoken to said, I don't really see the point of 60 frames. And that's because that's coming from PS3 owners who don't own PCs. Now, I said to them, I tried to explain to them what frames per second is. And it's hard to explain it. It's like, obviously, it's more frames per second. You know, it's in the name. But you can't explain what you see because you can't explain it. You just see it. As soon as you play a 60 frames per second game or more, you see the difference. It's like going from walking in treacle to not. It's hard to explain. I got to admit, like the only way to experience it is to watch it or play it. And I really want a lot of people who own consoles to experience this because I didn't know the difference until I owned a gaming PC. Or what I call a gaming PC, just down there. But I got to admit, I personally think we should be pushing for this, and it does worry me that we don't seem to be getting it
Yeah, I mean, The Witcher 3, I mean, from what I've seen of it, they just recently did a new video for 35 minutes of gameplay footage, and that is a beautiful game. I mean, massive world, lots going on, lots of effects, lots of characters, models, shading. You know, it's I can imagine that it would be a struggle for the PS4 and Xbox One, but then the point is, I mean, someone said something a while ago. There were some developers who weren't happy. I think it was Crytek actually who might have said it. You know, who made Crysis and Far Cry and things like that. And they were saying that they can't push games any further at the moment because consoles are kind of holding them back. Like, I mean, Crysis 1, I think 2007.
That was a while ago.
It's an old game now. I mean, that's 7 years or whatever like that. And that game still looks phenomenal to this day. But Crysis 2 moved on a little bit more. Crysis 3, a little bit more. They couldn't really push anything out of it. I mean, the one that worries me more...
I still think Crysis 3 is probably one of the best looking games out there still. Yeah, I don't think I think they were certainly the ones that pushed it to a level that consoles. I don't think they even considered the consoles when they made that game. They were just like, we'll make it as best as we can, and then we'll just turn it down for the consoles.
Well, yeah, I mean, The Witcher 3 and stuff, though, I mean, like, CD Projekt Red, who made these games, you know, they're quite a small, like, company. I mean, the first Witcher game, like, even that for PC was quite far along. The Witcher 2, I can't put The Witcher 2 on full settings now. That is a good-looking game, and it struggles. I mean,
I got to admit, that's another one I haven't tried, but I mean, I'm wanting to see what like capabilities my PC can hold up to that game, and because that's the thing with I've sort of like got a reasonable PC now. It's not amazing, but it's reasonable, and I'm worried now it's already coming out of date because, like I say, with Witcher 3, and it's like, well, I'd probably say mine's equivalent or a little bit better than a PS4, probably, probably a little bit better than a PS4 actually, but it's like they're saying that it's struggling. It's going to struggle. I'm thinking, my PC might not hold up. But then again, maybe I'm a little bit delusional to how powerful the PlayStation 4 and Xbox Ones actually are. I probably think they are more powerful than what, if you know what I mean.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think the thing is that what they can do with the console versions of games is there's no variance. I mean, on a PC version of a game, that's why they give you all the settings to change yourself, because say your particular graphics card might have a really, really good processing rate, but it might not have any good. I forgot what they're called. It's like the pipes on it are for like how it holds like the amount of pixels or something like that. Some of them use like the GPU clock on the actual system, and some work with your CPU to handle some of like the physics effects and stuff like that. If you've got a really good card for doing all of the physics and things, you might have some really nice looking effects, but then it might struggle when it comes to shadows. So you can turn that down. It'll run fine on your PC. When they make this for PS4 and Xbox One now, they'll know with both those respectively, like, they'll go, okay, the Xbox One, really good at shadows. Let's push the shadows up, but let's turn the resolution down or something to try and, make it so it'll run smooth. Vice versa from the PS4, they might go, do you know what? This can handle a lot of, particle effects, things like that. Let's get those turned up. But the shadows are causing a problem, so let's keep the resolution on 1080, but let's just soften the edge on that. Let's lower the resolution of the shadows. I mean, I know you've been playing The Last of Us Remastered recently, and it gives you an option, doesn't it, for better shadows or 60 frames.
Yep.
And
I got to admit, I didn't drop it down to 30 frames. I kept it at 60. I got to admit, in truth, it's a fantastic, gorgeous looking game. And a lot of people have been saying like the idea of, because it's been jumped up from 720 to 1080, that apparently it does actually show some of its inconsistencies. I haven't noticed them. I still think it's one of those sort of games where it's just like, wow. And again, it does. Games do. Again, I know a lot of developers and a lot of publishers have said like, some of them are pro and against, how important they are. But for me, I think it does help. It does help your whole gameplay experience and helps you sort of delve into a game and sort of immerse yourself within the experience, because you don't go, ooh, stutter, and it's not like jagging around. And even if it does drop slightly, you're still hovering around about the 30 frames max, so then it still looks okay. So it's interesting to see, I got to admit. But again, it's only one of the developers at Project Red have said that. And I think, as far as I know, that Project Red have actually turned around and said that it's in question whether or not it'll be at 1080p or not. So there's still a chance that it will be. But again, it's still a little bit on the fence, which sounds like to me they're just trying to soften the blow for us. It sounds like that basically it's going to be at 720 or maybe about 900 or something like that. but they're just not ready to announce that it's not going to be at 1080p yet.
No. As long as the announcement comes out that the Wii U version will be at 1080p, that's fine.
Yeah, we'll wait. We'll hang on for that.
Tumbleweed goes by. Although, saying that, funny enough, every other game on the Wii U at the moment, I mean, because we bring it round for his gaming nights and stuff now every time, all of those run at 60. They're 1080p, they're 60 frames. Mario Kart 8 looks good. Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, that looks good. I mean, technically that was like a Wii game port, so I'd be worried if it didn't work on high resolution. But yeah, Nintendo Land, all the other games we played, they're all crystal clear. I mean, Super Mario World, that's lovely, like with all the cat suits and whatnot, but it never drops from 60 at all. But I mean, I remember, I think it was launch videos for the PS4, like I think it was Infamous Second Son, and that seems to have highs of between 30 and 40, but lows of 12 to 24. And
yeah, that's when we get, I got to admit, that's the area which I'm like, what? No, you don't want to be seeing it going lower than 30. Definitely don't want to see it going lower than 30. It's certainly obviously a hot topic at the present moment with frames. It seems that everybody sort of wants to put the 2 cents in, but personally for me, obviously just go for the best possible sort of version of it you can, really. And really, in retrospect, if you do want the best possible version, go for PC.
Yeah.
That's, in the end, and really I should probably shut up about it, but I should just get on PC. But that's what a thing I'm worried about, is that I don't know if my PC will probably even do it at that, but hopefully it will. But
the good thing is you can always turn the settings down to at least get to play it on your PC, however smooth you want it, or if you want it to look
tweak
better.
It as you will, sort of thing.
Yeah, and then you own that forever then on your digital version, or even you get a disc version, because it's always going to be kind of forward compatible. If you upgrade your machine, it'll run better. Play it again later with a better card. But I mean, you get it on the PS4 now, there's no 1080p version. PS5 comes out and they say, oh, we've got Witcher 3 remastered, and it's like, I kind of already bought this game once though. I mean, can't you just, let me play it on this console running better? So it's a worry.
Talking about games that have been remastered in recent times, Tomb Raider, which got a what was it called again? The Tomb Raider Definitive Edition?
Definitive, I think it was.
Yeah. Which again, I never played actually on the PlayStation 4. I played it on PC, a little bit of it anyway, the original version, not the definitive version. But that was, again, I don't really see what they improved on that game. Was it hair again? Tress FX? The wafted in the wind. Oh, God. Anyway, it's talking about Tomb Raider anyway. It's kind of, again, another touchy subject. At Gamescom this last week, that it was announced on the Xbox conference that Tomb Raider, or Rise of the Tomb Raider, which I just find a really strange name. Like the Rise of the Tomb. Rise of the Tomb Raider is Xbox exclusive. Or that's what was said on the Xbox conference.
Yeah.
And basically, the internet blew up. Twitter crashed. YouTubers went crazy. If in doubt, just checked Angry Joe's review video on this subject. He loses his shit, which you used to get Angry Joe doing anyway. But it was actually quite entertaining to watch. I was just like, "You go, Joe. You go, Joe." But obviously, since then, companies come out, Square Enix come out and spoken. Was it Square Enix? Oh, I'm just gonna check. Square Enix have sort of replied then with a bit of a statement saying, well, we wanted to partner with Xbox because we believe that could, distribute it in the best possible format, which kind of counteracts the situation that Xbox are in with their consoles, like I was saying, with the 60 frames per second, 1080p. It's actually not the most powerful machine out there, so that kind of bit void in their statement. And then they went on to say, like, oh, but don't worry, if you own a PlayStation, you can still play the definitive edition, and on the other Tomb Raider game, which is coming out, which I can't remember actually the name of it now. I think it's like a top-down shooter sort of thing.
It is top-down.
Yeah.
It's the second one they did already.
Apparently it's a very good game, but that, as you said, don't worry, you can still play that. And which made basically fans who owned a PlayStation or owned just PC go absolutely crazy. Well, the internet blew up a second time, and it was a lot of blowing up. And so then it went on then to come out that actually Microsoft turned around and said that it was just basically wording. It will pretty much be a timed exclusive. or at least that's what's being said at the moment. It's a possibility that it could still come out across to PC, PlayStation in some manner later down the road.
Yeah, because they've said that the deal has a duration on it, so which is not something we're unused to. That was really big in the last generation of consoles, where stuff would come out and you go, Final Fantasy 13 only for the PS3, now on the 360, LA Noire, also both now. Metal Gear Rising, that was a massive one where everyone was going, yes, PS3, PS3, going mental. Next day, basically, and they went, oh, yeah, it's also Xbox One. Yes, everyone was like, in your face. It's like,
I don't mind timed exclusives. I think that's fine. But what I was a little bit sort of concerned about was the wording of this, and sort of clearly the amount of money that Square Enix must have been thrown at. Basically, it all sounded very double dealing and a little bit sort of behind closed doors.
Yeah.
And it just sounded a bit dodgy, if you ask me. And then it was like how Square Enix weren't actually sort of able to say it was a timed exclusive, so which must have been in the contract, saying we've seen that before where they weren't being able to say stuff, but that was a little bit iffy.
And then Square Enix sat there with his pool of money, just swimming around, going, "Don't worry, guys, you might get it, you might not."
It just sort of put both the companies in a little bit of a bad light, really, because it makes Microsoft look like a rich, money-grabbing company, and it basically makes Square Enix look like a double dealing and like not saying what they want to say. It just made it all look a little bit dodgy, and so basically. That was the whole thing. That was the whole thing with it. But it was a bit of an issue which came from Gamescom. I think it was probably the biggest thing that came from Gamescom, I'd say. Did you watch the conferences?
Yeah, managed to pick up. Well, I didn't pick them up live. It was always the day after, just the news feeds on what was going on. But
I have to admit, the PlayStation one was a little bit lackluster. It was a bit steady for me, steady Eddie. But I think Microsoft certainly seemed to come out on top a little bit with their presentation. But still, it made them look a little bit devious. I don't know, maybe it was just me, or I was interpreting. I was like, well, I don't feel entirely comfortable about this. And it's like, you should just come out and say timed exclusive. If you'd have said it's a timed exclusive right from the start, we'd all been like, oh, okay. Well, that's cool. They picked up that, early on. They clearly want an Uncharted series or form on the Xbox. They want Uncharted.
Well,
and Tomb Raider is basically another sort of style, especially in the new edition of Uncharted, and it just seemed a little bit dodgy on that sort of aspect. I
mean, in fairness, it was good to see that they had something to kind of go at. So I think they really didn't want to tell anyone that it was timed exclusive, because I mean, let's be fair, I think sales have gone up a bit for them recently, but there's no real reason to invest in one at the moment. I mean, PS4, there's not a lot massive going on, but at least you've got the leak, not leak, they've got the things where you've got your Assassin's Creed, which will be multi, you've got your Uncharted and stuff like that, and it's like people go, okay, good, we've got something to look forward to, that'll keep me steady away now, or it might make me think this Christmas I'll invest because early next year all the releases are coming out. Xbox One's kind of like, oh, we've got Tomb Raider, and everyone else will have gone, oh, that's all right, I'll get Tomb Raider on my PS4. And so I think they were really hoping to make PS4 owners go, might have to buy an Xbox One as well. They used to have that with Gears of War and Fable and certain games where you did, I own both an Xbox 360 and a PS3 for that same reason. It was like you had to have both.
Well, I wanted to play Fable on the Xbox 360. That was the reason why I picked it up.
Yeah. And it's just how it went. I mean, a lot of people I still ask now, like, oh, which would you want? And they go, oh, I like Xbox Live. And I go, any reason why? They go, it just seems better. All my friends are on it. They've always got that pulling power of certain things about it. And it's that whole thing of, if your friend has one, do you need one as well? That's like the South Park episode, isn't it? Like, which side are you on and all that. It's true. Because, I mean, I know you've got your PS4, and I do still want a PS4, but I'm in that place at the moment where I'm like, I feel I've still got another year at least to kind of make
it. To be honest, I wouldn't actually, if someone said to me, like, I don't know whether or not to buy, a next-gen console or not, I'd probably say to him, listen, these are the situations. I wouldn't ever say to him, just buy one, because it's, because, again, like you said, there isn't a lot of games out. There isn't. And all the games that seem to be coming out are the remastered versions of older games, which is fair enough. It's nice to see them come across. Like,
right.
Sleeping Dogs got announced to be getting a remaster, which seems a bit of a strange one. It's been out for quite a long time. But But again, I probably will pick that up on. I probably won't pick it up at launch, but I might pick it up as a sale or something like that.
Yeah.
And then you've got the ones we've got tons coming out for remasters. There's another one.
I don't actually know for PS4 now I think about it, because a lot of them have just been PS3, like the Kingdom Hearts series and stuff is what I've been looking at the moment. Ratchet and Clank just came out.
I'm sure there's another one coming out on PS4, which is another remaster. I can't think of what it is.
I might not have caught it. It might be something like LA Noire or something. That, to me, that'd be a good one to do, because
that's true.
That was a very good graphical game.
Grand Theft Auto. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just bing, both went at the same time. Yeah, how could I forget that one? Yeah, GTA Online. Oh, GTA Online will be obviously coming to PS4, which I have actually seen some screenshots and some video of that, and it does look good.
They did well on the PS3, to be honest, because it's a good game. There's a lot there.
That's going to be one of those games that I'll end up picking up on PS4 and then on PC as well. Yeah, just purely just for it's one of the sort of games. Like same with Watch Dogs. I think I've got it on nearly every single thing. I've got it on PS3, PS4, and PC now. I think the PC version was going to be my benchmark for my computer to see what it could run at. It can't run it at full settings, unfortunately. But when I get a new, hopefully upgrade, that'll be the one I'm like, right, let's power up Watch Dogs. Let's see what it can do. But no, I got to admit, that's just pretty much if I was going to advise someone to get a next gen like yourself, hold on for next year. We've got Dark Knight coming out. Oh, is it Dark Knight? The Dark Knight, right? No, I'm thinking of films. New Batman. Yeah,
it is just New Batman, so yeah.
Yeah, I forgot the name of it now.
It is something Knight, though, because it's the one with the Batmobiles in it, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, God. My mind's gone utterly blank.
No,
nope. Something Knight. Asylum? Something...
Arkham Knight, maybe. I don't know.
Arkham Knight. Yes, Arkham Knight. Yeah. Well done. I'm glad you remember stuff. But it's... Yeah, obviously we've got that coming out. We've got literally a bucket ton of games which have been delayed. We've got Evolve coming across as well, which would be interesting to play. I think that could be a really, really interesting one to play, actually.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just things like that coming out, which then you'll start seeing more of a library of games for the next gen. And I think that's when you're going to say, yeah, this is time to pick it up. The only thing I would say is if you've got a PS3 and you've got PlayStation Plus, just keep making sure every month when you get a PlayStation Plus game for free, click it and just get it saved to your account. Because then when you do purchase a PlayStation 4, or same with the Xbox and Microsoft and everything on that side, just make sure you click them. And when you buy the next-gen console, you'll have already a vast library of games that you can choose from. Even if you only pick up one game to play, AAA game, and you might have all these indie games ready, lined up to play as well, which might be worth doing. And then pick up Minecraft as well, because that's obviously, the thing to do. But that pretty much wraps up all our stories, I think.
Yeah, that's
double
the
check
main ones.
Like I said, this week's going to be a fairly, we're going to say a fairly quiet and steady one. We've actually chatted quite a bit, actually. But yeah, hopefully in 2 weeks' time, we will run down through many more news stories, and hopefully we'll have some more people with us as well, hopefully. Anyway, it might be just me and you again. And if you don't want to be here, it might just be me. It'll be fine. As long as you leave your stuffed toy in the background, as long as you leave that on camera, I could just talk to that and then do a voiceover for it. It'll be fine. Where is it? Is it onto your far left? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it?
There we go. Yeah, this was on the edge of the spot.
Yeah, there we go.
Alpaca.
Alpaca. Just leave that in camera and it'll be fine. We'll just have that. If you're not available, of course.
Oh.
But everybody, thank you so much for watching this episode of the Always Games TV show. We're going to call this episode 1. We're going to be doing basically a restart. So they've still got all the podcasts available to download on iTunes, leading up to... We didn't even talk about E3. Jeez. Well, we will talk about E3 eventually. But yeah, leading up all pretty much, I think it was a week or two before E3 started.
Something like that.
So listen to those. We will be putting this audio version up on iTunes as well. Obviously, the video version will be going up on YouTube. And don't forget to keep checking out our website, which is www.alwaysgamestv.com. And unfortunately, it is a little bit behind of being updated recently, but I'm going to crack on with that and get that sorted, hopefully this next week. Other than that, guys, you can check out Always Games TV on Twitter, which is at AlwaysGamesTV. And you can follow me personally, which is at The Geekkeeper. And Mac, how do we... How do we stalk you online?
If you want to stalk me and my lovely self, I'm on Twitter as well at @TremendousMark.
Tremendous Mark. And if you want to send us any questions or any feedback or anything like that, you could either leave a comment in below for YouTube, or if you listen to the audio, or if you want to send a bit more of a private question and we can read out on the show, you can send it to zztvfeedback@hotmail.com. And then if it's a good question, we'll read it out. Or if you want something for us to talk about, we'll bring up the topic on the show as well. That pretty much wraps up everything.
Been good.
My throat is literally dying now. I'm not used to this. When I did the podcast, I was like, I go in flow, no problem. I haven't done it for ages.
No.
But thank you very much for watching, guys. And cheers, Mark, for joining me. And hopefully we'll see you in 2 weeks as well.
No, thanks for having me.
All right, cheers, guys. See ya.
Cool.